Today, we're going to talk about vibe coding. And if you want your apps to actually scale and grow, your process is going to need some serious improvement. I've launched multiple successful apps recently, and I will tell you that the secret is structure. Without it, you're dead in the water. So I've seen it a million times. You ask AI for a feature, all of a sudden you end up with 100 lines of spaghetti code, and guess what? You have no version control, you have no tests written, and quite frankly, you might not even know what it does. So let's talk about what I call a vibe code framework. First thing, plan. Now, planning might seem obvious, but how many times have you started a project and you're just like, let me get in there? How many times have you taken a minute to actually ask yourself, what am I building here? Listen, I get it. Planning's annoying, but it makes for such a time saver. So let's dive in. This is what I call the planning markdown file. So first, if you look, I break everything down into separate sub-features. So auth-flow login, design. You might have even noticed a line here, AI suggested features. And that's because I like to keep this separate. It's experimental. It's logic that I might want separate from my core logic. It also allows you for the feature to switch between your models. Let's say one day you're using ChatGPT. The next day you want to try using Gemini. Maybe they release a new version of Grok. This allows you to get more fine-grained control over your AI. If you want to know how I handle that AI layer, feel free to leave a comment or even hop in the Discord and I'll be happy to break it down. So second thing, prompt small. Another one, might seem obvious, right? I'm talking really small. Well, maybe not that small. Small inputs leave for better output and less junk. Also, you have way more control and you understand a little bit more what's going on step by step. Let's dive into an example. Okay, so here I'm gonna ask for a state-of-the-art contact form. You'll see the AI generate the response. One thing I wanted to point out is you will see that it does cover a lot of things like security, accessibility, even modern design, but stop relying solely on AI to generate everything you need. Let's walk through how we're going to improve this validation. So like I was saying, let's go here to our chat and let's ask, can we make our form have a more reliable validation? Let's wait for the generation. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to stop it here for 1 second just to talk about this. So you'll see now it has enhanced validation rules, better error handling, cross-field validation, HTML5, etc., etc. So I'm going to speed this back up and we'll see the final output here. You'll see there's a lot more custom validation rules, a better pattern, max length. And this is really what you want to end up with as far as like maybe a more full validation. Smaller prompts will always get you better results. So this leads me directly into step 3. Subscribe to my channel. No, but seriously, if any of this is helpful to you guys, I would love if you like this video so we can share it with more people. Also, feel free to subscribe, follow the journey. There's going to be a ton more content that I would love to share with you. Okay, but let me get back to it. Step 3, test. Once a component is done, I prompt immediately for test. Listen, no one likes to write tests. I've been writing code for a long time, and I swear that is the #1 thing people do not like to do. But now we don't even have to write them ourselves. Just have your AI check its own work. Once a component is done, I immediately ask for test. And I'm not talking about unit tests. I'm talking about integration tests. I'm talking about end-to-end tests. Let's write 3 integration tests for the login flow that we made earlier. Okay, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to ask for integration tests. You might notice there's some Firebase stuff. I added some Firebase configuration in between. So we'll run this. I'm going to skip ahead. Okay, so here I'm looking at this is a unit test file that it actually created. So there's a lot of unit tests that I created with Jest that, I didn't have to write any of this, which is awesome. So that I didn't even ask for. And then we're going to jump over here to the integration test file that I actually did ask for. So you'll see it tests the user workflows in Firebase. There's a couple examples here. So here we have integration test 1. You're completing a form submission through Firebase. We'll scroll down here and there's another integration test 3, that checks for form validation and error handling. So this took almost no time. So always make sure you just do another prompt to ask for integration tests, even unit tests, and it will make your vibe coding a lot more bulletproof. Step 4, modular code. LLMs hate big, messy files, and so do we. The worst thing you can do is give an LLM a huge, nasty file. We're gonna break our code into small files, every little piece. Think of it as every single component is inside a chest, and you have the key to the chest, not AI. That way, when you prompt AI to generate code or fix something, it's not touching files that it doesn't need to. All right, step 5. Guys, if you made it this far, comment AI made me do it in the comments and I'll know exactly who made it through. Seal your feature. So a lot of people don't really talk about this. When you're done with a feature and you're vibe coding, just be done. We don't want to let AI just ramble about. We want to keep working code working. No endless tweaks, no coming back every 5 minutes. Don't touch the feature unless you absolutely have to. Matter of fact, you could always make a feature from another feature. Does that ring a bell? It's called inheritance. It's been around for a really long time. Here's some extra pro tips to keep you standing out. Log your AI sessions. You can always have your prompts and the responses logged into a file that you can go look at later. You'd be surprised at how much it makes your debugging a lot easier. Ask your AI for edge cases. You don't have to think of every single edge case. You could literally use AI to think of edge cases for you. Also, try using a guardrail script. Vibe coding isn't lazy. It's the new way of doing things. When it's done right, it is the most powerful dev workflow that you could use. You're gonna move faster, you're gonna build cleaner, and you're gonna have full control. I hope I helped you level up your dev process, as well as find a safer way to vibe code. Again, this is Dubs with Vibe Codes, and I'll see you next time.